We're on the air. Touchdowns. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
All right, so what a fun crowd. So nice to meet so many of you. If I haven't met you yet, maybe I could introduce yourself after the meeting. But it was great to see a bunch of you upstairs. For those who don't know me, my name is Kevin Law, and I've been chair of the board for the past few years. It's been a pleasure and an honor. And we have a great board and some new members here too. So I'm going to kick off our meeting today. We'll call the meeting of the directors of the New York State Urban Development Corporation doing business as Empire State Development for this Thursday, October 17th, 2024. We'll call this to order. I'm going to first ask board members to introduce themselves, and so I could recognize a quorum. And then we'll go around the horn and the table and the side here. We'll have others introduce themselves. So starting with my left.
Hope Knight, President, CEO, ESD.
And letter side, Asher, Director.
Benson Martin, Designee, BFS.
Michael Rosen, member of the board.
John Wong, the director.
Lorraine Harris, member. Francine Del Monte, member.
All right. So I will recognize we have a quorum so we can conduct our business. And before we get to the agenda, let's go around the room, starting with Kevin, and we'll go around this way, and then we'll start over here on the side.
All right. Good morning, Kevin Eunice, COO.
Noah Raymond, Chief of Staff.
Liz Luskin, Executive Vice President, Small Business and Technology Development.
Emil Miffy and Lilzy Grants.
Ken Klinsky, Central New York Regional Director. Mike Yevley, Capital Region Regional Director.
Linda Malavi, Mid-Hudson. Allison Madfield, Mohawk Valley Regional Director. Karen Utz, Western New York Regional Director.
Vinny Esposito, Senior Vice President for Regional Economic Development.
Tony D'Alessio, Deputy EFO Control. Orlando, Chief Financial Officer.
Goldie Wexel, Deputy General Counsel.
Joshua Bloodworth, General Counsel.
Carol Longworth, Long Island Regional Director.
Very good. Rich Gabimano, SVP Marketing.
Debbie Woods, Corporate Secretary. Courtney E. Perry, Chef.
Yeah, we buy social family show.
Good job. John Bay, Vice President for MWPD.
Denise Sani, Deputy Director, Long Island. Betty Enriquez, Puerto Rico Director.
Jeremy Garcia, Special Advisor at MWB.
Dawn Sanders, VP for MWPD.
Derek Crossman, the Deputy Director, Mohawk Valley.
Anne Carrero, Deputy Director, Western New York.
Steve Hunt, North Country Regional Director.
Omar Sanders, Southern Tier Regional Director.
Just Haswell, we are the City Regional Director.
Ohio Vasquez, the Deputy Director. Anna Cuban, New York City, IT.
Publish. Anybody on the side there? No? Anybody we missed?
Nope, you didn't miss anyone. It's in Rogers.
All right. So, again, thank you all for being here. A very impressive team here. Yeah, Hope. So, again, nice to see you all. We're going to get to the agenda. We don't have a very lengthy agenda today, which is nice. But I'm going to remind everybody who's not here in the room, but who's joining us remotely, to please mute your audio until you're ready to speak. The public was given the opportunity to attend today's meeting and provide comments on the agenda item. And I'll state for the record that we do not have any members of the public here. Also, the public was given an opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments by noon yesterday. And I'll note for the record that we have not received any comments for any of the items on today's agenda. As always, the directors were provided with materials prior to the meeting in advance. And of course, are free to ask questions at any time during our presentations. At this time, I'll ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the items on the agenda today. Here's some Benson.
Yes, ES will abstain from voting on the emerging and regional partner program fund investment item.
Got it. So let the record reflect that. And when we get to that item, we'll do it again. No other conflicts. That allows us to proceed with our agenda. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of September 19th, 2024, which have been circulated. I will move them. Hilda seconds them. Are there any comments, revisions, or additions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries and the minutes are approved. I'll now call on Hope Knight, our ESD's president and CEO, to provide her president's report.
Thank you, Kevin, and good morning, directors. I'd like to welcome all of our regional directors and their teams to New York City today. It was great that they were here yesterday and joining us at this meeting, so welcome again. This month is Manufacturing Month, and manufacturing is a cornerstone of our economy and part of our state's legacy. New York State is home to nearly 17,000 manufacturing operations. These businesses are job engines in their community, helping employ more than 420,000 people across the state in good-paying jobs. Since Governor Hochul took office, New York State has added more than 12,000 manufacturing jobs. And in New York City alone, manufacturing has grown nearly 20% during the governor's administration. Manufacturing contributed more than $95 billion to the state's GDP and is responsible for approximately $85 billion in exports each year. And we are home to 0% corporate income tax for manufacturers. Earlier this month, I joined Governor Hochul for a beam signing at TTM Technologies in Central New York. TTM is a global leader in technology solutions for military applications. The company is expanding by building a new state-of-the-art manufacturing facility next to its current operation. The $120 million investment will create an additional 400 good-paying jobs. ESD is supporting the project with $5 million in a capital grant and $17 million in performance-based Excelsior job tax credit. This month, we also announced the latest round of Fast New York grantees. This program supports the creation of shovel-ready sites to target growth industries like advanced manufacturing. The biggest award this round went to the town of Liberty in Sullivan County. That site was awarded $20 million to support sewer and water infrastructure, which will enable the construction of a new 1 million square foot facility. To date, ESD has awarded $200 million to 25 sites across upstate. And under the governor's leadership, an additional $100 million for this program was included in the state budget. And then lastly, the Capital Region welcomed a new manufacturer last month. Soleno is a Quebec-based company that uses recycled plastic to manufacture water and stormwater pipes. The company built a new $22 million plant in Saratoga Springs and is adding 50 new full-time jobs. ESD supported the project with nearly $2.1 million in grants and tax credits. This is the company's first expansion to the U.S., and they chose New York based on its location and the state's reputation as a global leader in environmentally friendly solutions. And with that, I conclude my president's.
Thank you, Hope. I know that you and the governor recently at University of Buffalo with the big AI initiative. I know that involves a lot of public and private universities, but what is ESD's role in the AI initiative that you guys announced last week?
So we are administering the initiative for the state.
We are.
Yes. Yes. And
Do we have an AI expert now here at ESD? Or have you designated somebody? Well,
it is not me. It's a consortium of 7 institutions, and they're going to take the lead on the content.
Got it. So we're just providing some administration.
We're helping them with organizing.
Good.
Yeah.
No, it sounds pretty exciting. It's going to benefit the whole state.
It will put us in a leading position.
So we don't have an AI division yet. Something tells me, with the governor's commitment to it, we're going to be playing a larger role in the future on it, which is exciting. Add that to the semiconductors and all the other things that you just mentioned there. It sounds exciting. So does anybody have any questions for Hope on any items you reported on? Okay, so thank you very much, Hope. We'll continue.
Okay.
So outside? Well, that's a very good sign. And to our corporate actions, and we have Ed Hamilton, our Executive VP for Administration, who has a resolution the board needs to approve regarding the appointment of a deputy chief financial officer and controller. Is Ed here?
Yes, good morning, Kevin, and good morning to the board and everybody at the meeting. The directors are being requested that Anthony D'Alessio be appointed to the Deputy Chief Financial Officer and Controller. His appointment would be effective September 12th, 2024. The duties for the Deputy CFO and Controller are outlined in the board materials, but I will say that Mr. D'Alessio joined the corporation after spending his career with KPMG as a managing partner. After retiring as a partner and prior to joining ESD, Mr. D'Alessio served as the Deputy Controller and Controller in Government. He's also a CPA in New York State, attended Hofstra University, and from introductions, you know that Mr. D'Alessio is in attendance with the directors at the meeting today. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Ed. So I know Tony as well. When I used to run the Long Island Association, Tony was the managing partner of KPMG and served on our board. In addition to being a really smart guy, he's a real gentleman who is very passionate about economic development and business, and he was one of the more active board members, and he takes things seriously. And so it's an honor and a privilege to make the motion to approve Anthony D'Alessio as our deputy controller, seconded by Mike. Does anybody have any comments or questions on the motion? All in favor of the appointment?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None? So Tony, by the skin of your teeth, you got in?
It's important enough for that like the artist choice does that in us. Yes.
Thank you very much. It's an honor and pleasure to be here, and I look forward to working with all of you going forward.
Very good. Well, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you again.
All righty. So that item is approved. We now move on to our what we call our spotlight presentations, and what we've been doing over the past couple of years is having various regional directors report on their happenings in their region, and every time we do it, we all learn something and really get impressed with all the cool things that are happening. So since Long Island is in the house today with me and Tony, we also have Kara Longworth, who's our regional director. And again, let me tee up Kara because, again, before becoming chair of ESD, I was co-chair of the Long Island Regional Economic Development Council for 11 years. The first 11, what round are we in now? 14. So I did rounds 1 through 11. And Kara and her deputy, Denise Sani, who is right over there, really an amazing team, hard workers. They have their pulse on what's happening in the region and have a great team of other people in the office, and they do a terrific job. And I'm going to hand it over to Kara, who's going to give us the Long Island Spotlight presentation.
Thank you, Kevin, and board. And it's happy to be here today and tell you guys all about Long Island. And it's like a real honor to have all my fellow regional directors and deputy directors here as well. They all did such a fantastic job on their presentations, and I've learned so much about the rest of the state. Hopefully I can hold up my end of the bargain and teach you guys all about Long Island. But Lorene and Kevin, you guys know all of this already. But I'm going to talk about just a brief introduction to the region for those people who are not familiar with it. Then I'm going to talk about our strengths and our challenges and how we are using the regional council to develop strategies to address the challenges and implement it with state resources. So first of all, Long Island, we are an island. We live on Long Island, not in Long Island. Now I tell somebody when they use the wrong, not really a Long Islander. We have about 2.9 million people that live on the island. As you can see there, it's about equally split between the two counties, although Suffolk County has 3 times the land mass. So it is, we are more dense in Nassau County and obviously much less dense Suffolk, where we even have about 100,000 acres of preserved pine lands and 30,000 acres of farmland. We have 13 towns, 2 cities, 96 villages, and I think something like 900 taxing jurisdictions in the region. So our people are as diverse as our geography. We have 42% non-white, and that has been trending up year over year. So Long Island's history, we were first founded in 1650 in Southold, which is the eastern tip of Long Island. In the beginning, our economy was based on agriculture and aquaculture. Those are two strong industries still in the region. Suffolk County is the fourth largest agricultural producer in the state, and our fishing fleet brings in about $1.2 billion in goods and services a year. In the 1900s, aerospace and defense took over our economy. You're all familiar with Grumman. They were one of the largest manufacturers on Long Island. They made pretty much all the many of the Navy fighter fighter jets. Well, no, planes in the beginning, and then later jets in the Cold War. Obviously, the F-14 Tomcat, which was made famous by Tom Cruise in Top Gun. So all those planes were made there. At its height, they had about 23,000 employees on Long Island. I think they just have a very small footprint there now today, and they don't manufacture anything on Long Island. So everybody knows about Long Island's aviation history, but a little known fact is that we also had the first submarine base in the continental United States. Missioned six submarines out of New Suffolk between 1899 and 1906. So in the 380 years since Long Island was first founded, we've seen a lot of transitions. Our potato farms have become wineries. Our Superfund site in Glen Cove has been remediated and is a beautiful condo development now. And where we used to, and I forgot to mention the lunar module was also made by Grumman that landed on the moon. Where that was manufactured is now Bethpage Movie Studios, where we're making movies today. So some of our strengths. Our economy is really innovation-based now. We have tremendous research facilities on Long Island. Chairman Law dubbed it the Innovation Corridor. First up, we have Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research. This is the research arm of Northwell Health. They are global leaders in bioelectric medicine. We gave them a $30 million grant to create a bioelectric medicine facility on their campus. And 2 years ago, the governor also announced another $10 million grant for them to build out their cancer labs, 10 cancer labs. Moving further east, we have Cold Spring Harbor Lab, which has been around for over 100 years. This is a world-renowned life science laboratory. They specialize in genomics and cancer and neuro. We have given them approximately $100 million over several years through several grants to build out their facilities. And they are building a large neuroscience facility, including a neuro AI research complex. And moving further east, we have Brookhaven National Lab. You've all heard me talk about Brookhaven in the past. This is a federal Department of Energy federal multi-purpose user lab. It is soon to be home to the Electron-Ion Collider. This is a $2 billion federal investment with a $100 million state investment. Hope and I standing inside the current ion collider, which they will be adding an electron ring to. It'll be a one-of-a-kind machine. We also gave them a $15 million grant to buy a cryo-EM microscope. This is attached to the nanosynchrotron light source 2, which is the brightest light source in the world. This microscope came online just in early 2020, just in time to become an integral part of the research on the COVID-19 vaccine. And lastly, they are building out a tech park just outside the perimeter gates. This will capitalize on the thousands of researchers that come to the facility every year. There will be places for collaboration, hotels, housing, a tech campus, and hopefully we'll be able to attract companies that come to use these one-of-a-kind machines to stay here on Long Island. Now, we have all these great physical assets, but luckily we also have an incredibly educated workforce. We have some of the best high schools in the country, award-winning students. We have 20 colleges and 3 medical schools. And we are happy to say we also just funded the first veterinarian medicine school on Long Island. This is at LIU University. We gave them a $12 million grant. This is only the second vet school in the state, and there's only 4 in the Northeast, and it will fill a need for more veterinarians in the country. Of course, the anchor of our research corridor is Stony Brook University. This is one of SUNY's flagship universities. In addition to its 30,000 students, 14,000 employees. It has a hospital and a research park with 2 cats and 2 COEs. So our workforce is educated. We have almost 45% of our over 25 have a bachelor's degree or higher. That's 5% higher than the state and 10% higher than the United States. It is manufacturing month, so we can't not talk about manufacturing. We have 36,000 manufacturers on Long Island that employ 70,000 people. While we don't have the big Grumman anymore, we still do have hundreds of smaller companies that are subcontractors in the aerospace and defense. We have a burgeoning food industry. We gained 1,000 jobs in our food production industry in the last year. And our biggest sector is life sciences, biotechnology, making pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals. And no conversation about Long Island economy cannot include tourism. Tourism is a huge part of our economy. You see $7.5 billion this year. That's up $1 billion from last year. Obviously, we have incredible natural assets in the region. We have almost 1,200 miles of shoreline. We are situated adjacent to New York City, which I think is the largest visited city in the world. We had 41 million visitors last year, and who come to see our natural. We have wineries. We have 60 wineries on the East End and numerous craft breweries. So we have our challenges like everybody else. The 2 biggies are housing and workforce. Although our population is relatively stable, we have lost 98,000 residents between the ages of 35 and 55 in the last decade, and 70,000 between 18 and 49 in just 2021. So that creates a job shortage. We have open jobs. Hope you asked me about this the other day. We looked, and our DOL is reporting we had 9,300 manufacturing jobs open in the last year, with almost 800 open as we are here today. And connected is our housing shortage, right? We know we've created more jobs than housing units, 62,000 more jobs than housing units in the last 20 years. We just simply do not build as much as our contemporary suburbs. And we still have considerably less rental housing, a percentage of rental housing as almost half from other suburbs around the city. So what that means is that our housing is expensive. It goes up and up and up every month. Every month, as Kevin and Lorraine can attest, Newsday reports that we have hit a new median high. $835,000 in Nassau, $680,000 in Suffolk is the median home price, which means that our 43% of our owners are cost burdened and 50% of our renters are cost burdened, which means they have to pay more than 30% of their income on housing. So what are we doing about it? The Regional Council has been well aware of our housing situation since the very beginning. Since year one, as Kevin knows, we have funded many housing projects and mixed-use projects. We've created through our projects 4,100 units. 1,200 of them are affordable, and 12 of them are TODs, and 12 of them are in distressed communities. But we're not done yet. Obviously, we still have a ways to go. We were very, very happy last year that we won the challenge, the REDC challenge. So we were awarded $10 million to tackle the housing issue. We're going to roll this program out very shortly. We're working with a consultant now. We're going to use that $10 million to hire consultants and give technical assistance to communities to identify available sites for housing and to make them shovel ready, whether that's hiring engineering firms, changing the secret, finding developers. So we're excited about that. We've also changed the Long Island Investment Fund program, so to specifically include housing projects, and we're working with about half a dozen developers right now, looking to see if we can give them grants to move their projects along. And of course, we've been working closely with our sister agency, HCR, to encourage more and more communities to apply for the pro housing so they can access more funding for their programs. And lastly, how we have workforce development. We have an incredible workforce development work group through our REDC. They're very active. We have all the stakeholders, the educators, the employers, the manufacturers. They come together on a regular basis and really try to come up with some strategies to figure out our workforce shortage and to train people for the jobs of today and tomorrow. Some of the programs we worked on, obviously the offshore wind is huge on Long Island. I just last week got to go out to that wind farm there. It was a phenomenal trip. Anyone gets the opportunity, I say take it. We've given a $3 million grant to the National Offshore Training Group to train people in the operations and maintenance of the wind farms. Also, the Navy has come to town. I mentioned earlier that we had the first submarine base in the continental United States. We still have about 300 or 400 subcontractors on Long Island that are subcontractors to the Navy, who is rebuilding their submarine inventory. The Navy has recognized that their subcontractors need talent, so they've developed this talent pipeline. They've come to 4 different states. I think New York is 4th on their list, and most of those companies are on Long Island. So they are giving grants to some of our stakeholders to create programs to train people for these subcontractors. And finally, the workforce group has always been very conscious of making sure that our workforce development programs are equitable and inclusive, and trying to build up the workforce by bringing people back to the workforce that have traditionally been left out. Nassau County ran this great program called Urgent, which is utility training for women, vets, and youth. And United Way has been running a program, Youth Build, for many years now, very successful, helping young people get their GEDs and develop a trade at the same time. And finally, I will end with a quick video from a not-for-profit who trains people that are neurodivergent to work in screen printing.
The Spectrum Designs Foundation is a customer panel and promotional products business with a social mission. That mission is to help create jobs for people with disabilities. So we were founded in 2011 with the mission to create these jobs, and now we have 8,000 square feet and we have 40 employees, and about 23 of them are people with developmental disabilities. These are people who are now for the first time getting proper hands-on training to get a feel for what it's like to get paid for the work they're doing, and hopefully grow into a paid position here or be able to take their skills to other print shops in the local area. Diversity, they say, is being invited to the party. Inclusion is being asked to dance. And so we make sure that people are being asked to dance. I learned about screen printing. I've been trying to get new things so I could learn. Today, I learned my embroidery, how to get the machines done and take the things off when it's ready. I've been working hard all this 3 years and almost months, and it's been going great.
I'm sorry, that ends a little abruptly because we cut that out of a SIAT presentation. But they have also actually expanded to the Mid-Hudson too, Spectrum Design. It's a wonderful company. So that's our story. This is my team. A special shout out to Anne-Marie Proscia, who really did this PowerPoint, and I drove her a little crazy the last couple of days as Noah was telling me to cut it down. But it was great. It was a great opportunity for all the team to come together and really figure out, like, what can we tell you, right? I mean, the region is so big, it's so broad, but what can we really break down and bring to the table to let you guys really know what Long Island is all about? So happy to answer any questions or follow up.
Right. Terrific job, Tara. Yeah. So you can tell Long Island is just like some of the other presentations we had, from other regions of the state, was very dependent on one major employer or a couple of major employers. Like we were at Grumman, and then things happen and the place is resilient, just like other places upstate, and you figure out different industries and sectors to invest in. And whereas the Grumman was, everybody growing up knew somebody who worked at Grumman, and now they have like a de minimis presence on the art, but it's the place is still thriving. So Carol, with the housing consultant, do you guys already have the consultant on board?
Yep.
Yeah. And did another region win? Was there only one $10 million grant awarded? Was there another? 3. And are they doing something similar with their housing monies?
There's not housing. They focused on workforce development.
Also, you guys won just the one for housing. Got it.
Yeah.
Very good. And when should the study be done?
Well, we're hoping by the end of the year. We're talking to communities. We're trying to figure out what's the best program to run. It's going to be, like I said, we're going to be hiring consultants and paying for them to go into communities and help them make a shovel-ready site for development. So we're right now talking to some of the communities, like what would work best. So when we're ready to roll it out, we know we're doing what can really be needed. So I think a month or two.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And the median price homes, when you see $830,000 in Nassau County, so you think about employers who want to either locate or try to expand there, and it's like their biggest challenge is, all right, even if we could pay our workers $200,000 a year, that doesn't qualify them to afford the median price home rent. And so it really is a significant challenge. That's why I think Governor Hochul is so right in when she's focusing so many of her efforts on housing, and then ESD, which historically didn't play a big role in housing, is now very involved in the sector. So it's great to see Long Island doing that as well. Do any of the other board members have any questions for Kara?
No, I did appreciate that. It's very presentation.
Very, very impressive. Especially the stats.
Well, we made that argument in our strategic plan last year because there is some fear of too much housing in the region. To go, as you know, right, you see it in the paper all the time, people fighting out, trying to oppose projects. But if you make the argument that we need it for the workforce because you want your companies to grow, you want people to be employed, you want your children to stay on Long Island, and if we don't build the housing for them, we can't keep them here. And I mean, it's not just in manufacturing. I mean, anytime you go grocery store, a restaurant, they're closing one day a week because they can't have staff, or you see the help wanted sign everywhere. We definitely, and so we connect that idea to housing. We're hoping that people will understand a little bit better that it's not a bad thing. Closing schools, right? We've seen schools closing, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, good job, Kara. Thank you so much. And Denise, as always, thanks for all your efforts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's continue on with the agenda. We're going to go to the regional project section of the agenda, starting in Western New York. And we have Karen Utz with us here today. She's the regional director for the Western New York region, who I had the pleasure of meeting upstairs earlier today. Karen?
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, directors. In a brief nod to Kara's presentation, I would just note that in Western New York, I grew up on Grand Island, not in Grand. This morning, the directors are requested to approve a $2,250,000 grant to Oakwood Cemetery Association from the Regional Economic and Community Assistance Program in support of a project totaling $2.5 billion. The remaining $250,000 comes from philanthropic partners. The project is part of the $40 million Niagara Falls component from the $300 million Regional Revitalization Partnership, with focused investments on placemaking to regenerate commercial corridors and rebuild community anchors. The Oakwood Cemetery was established before the Civil War, and this project will provide for the restoration and repair of 3 historic buildings located at the cemetery that are key pieces of historic neighborhood architecture in Niagara Falls, making them more visitor-ready to support educational and heritage interpretation and visitation. Oakwood Cemetery is on the National Register of Historic Places. Because funds for this project will be dispersed during the course of construction, ESD is now recommending that the board authorize the release of funds for this project. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Karen?
Yeah, just make a comment. Yeah, I'm just very supportive of this particular project. Oakwood Cemetery is the oldest cemetery, I think, in Niagara County, if I'm not mistaken. And they have strived for years to really keep it a not only just functioning as a cemetery, but as a tourism attraction, because they do tours. And just for everybody's edification here, Annie Edison Taylor, I think, was the first person, but definitely the first woman, who went over the falls in a barrel. It's a month. And she's actually buried in Oakwood Cemetery. So like a lot of cemeteries around the state, they do these tours, but we have a lot of historical figures that are buried at Oakwood. So just wanted to add that to your historical knowledge.
Well, I'll take that in the form of a motion to that was seconded by Lorraine. We have no questions from the, no comments from the public. Had no other questions from the board members. So all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Karen, and thank you, Francine. Well, let's move over to Central New York. Another great guy I got to see in person for the first time today, Dan Kalinsky, who gave a great presentation a couple of months ago. So Dan is here. He's our regional director for Central New York region. Dan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioner and board members. Today, you're being asked to approve a Regional Council Capital Fund grant of $300,000 the town of Oswego to be used for a portion of the cost of construction, renovations, and soft costs related to engineering and design for their Lake Shore sewer construction project. The purpose of this project is to eliminate on-site sanitary treatment systems by serving commercial properties and residential users with public sanitary sewer collection facilities. These upgrades will promote future development in Oswego by providing reliable critical infrastructure. Total cost of this project is $5,550,000, with 94% coming from the town. ESD participation is 5% of the total project cost. The remaining 1% is coming from the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation Clean Water State Revolving Loan Fund. The project is consistent with the CNY REDC's goals of placemaking investments, which aims to invest in the built environment to support the growing economy and future generations. Happy to take any questions.
Dan, can you point to any particular projects or businesses that once this sewer project gets completed, they're going to be able to hook up and create economic activity or create jobs?
They don't have anyone that was waiting to connect the sewer lines, but continuing for the planned growth of Oswego County. This was necessary both as a flooding mitigation. They were having overruns of some of the wastewater because of the flooding from Lake Ontario that we saw the devastating floods a few years ago. So this was both a sustainability effort to get those commercial and residential units on the public sewer lines and future plans for expansions that they're anticipating, especially with the Micron project coming down the pipe.
Got it. Very good. All right. Well, thank you, Dan. I will move it. John Long seconds it. Are there any questions or comments? We have no questions. We have no comments from the public. So all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Dan. Move over to the Mohawk Valley region. 2 items will require 2 separate votes, so we'll do them one at a time. Allison Madmoon, Regional Director for Mohawk Valley region. Allison, are you here?
I'm here.
There she is.
And good morning, Director. This morning, I'll be asking you to approve a Round 12 Regional Council capital grant of $1 million to Lahinch, Utica, to be used as a portion of construction and renovation for the Mayrow building in downtown Utica. Lahinch, Utica sought to rehabilitate blighted and heavily contaminated Mayrow building and convert it into 15,000 square feet of commercial space, as well as 51 market rate apartments in its downtown. This project will offer a diverse range of storefront offerings and bring investment to Utica's urban core. The renovations are nearly complete with an expected completion date of November 2024. The total budget for this project is $9.2 million, and ESD's participation in this project for this grant will be 11% of project costs, $1 million. The project is consistent with the MBREDC's strategy for creating vibrant communities through downtown redevelopment, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Allison? Hearing none. We have no comments from the public. I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Allison continues.
The next project I'll be asking the directors to approve this morning is a Round 13 Regional Council capital grant of $500,000 to JCTOD Outreach, Inc., to be used as a portion of construction and renovation for the Johnson Park Green Community Center building in Utica. JCTOD Outreach, Inc. was founded in 1995 to serve the residents and promote the revitalization of Utica's Cornhill neighborhood. JCTOD, Inc. started construction on the Johnson Park Green Community Center to help address homelessness and economic instability. When completed, the center's second floor will house 2 early childhood development programs, and the first floor will feature a commercial kitchen and for community cooking classes and a food pantry. This food pantry will serve approximately 650 families per week. The total budget for this project is $1.5 million, and ESD's participation in the project for this grant will be 33% of project costs, or $500,000. The project is consistent with the MVREDC's opportunity agenda to create equity by providing access to resources and services in close proximity to economically distressed neighborhoods. And I'd be happy to take any questions.
Good. Thank you. Any questions, Allison? Hearing none, I will move it. Benson seconds it. No comments from the public. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Allison. We'll move over to the Capital Region. Michael Yeverly, our Regional Director. Michael here? There he is. Oh, I didn't get to meet you earlier. Good to see you, Mike.
See you, Chairman. Thank you, directors. Today, I am requesting the directors approve a $465,000 capital grant to Ames Goldsmith Corporation for a portion of the costs associated with the purchase and installation of machinery and equipment at their manufacturing facility in the city of Glens Falls, and also installation of equipment at the city of Glens Falls wastewater treatment plant. The improvements are designed to manage the discharge and treatment of nitrates into the wastewater system. All these facilities, again, are located in Glens Falls. Project was a Round 2 REDC Empire State Economic Development Fund grant and had a total project cost of just under $1.85 million. Ames Goldsmith Corporation is a privately held New York State C Corp that specializes in silver refining and fabrication and the manufacturing materials for the electronics industry. Originally founded in 1860 as the Ames Chemical Company, the Glens Falls Silver refining plant was sold to GAF Corporation in the late 60s and was subsequently purchased by Ames Goldsmith Corporation in 1979. The Ames Goldsmith plant has been in continuous operation as a silver refiner and fabricator for nearly 150 years. Ames Goldsmith constructed a 1,000-gallon dedicated holding tank to improve the management of nitrates, a byproduct of the company's silver fabrication and refinement process. The nitrates generated at the Ames facilities are then transported via tank trucks to another dedicated holding tank. Aims to increase operations at their facilities. The construction and renovation project is complete. The company needed to retain 89 existing jobs and create 9 new jobs. They've done that and are employing over 100 people on site. The project aligns with CREDC's strategy of innovate and grow. Happy to answer any questions.
Hey, Michael, a question for you. So, round 2. What did we say? We're in round 14 now?
Yeah.
No, just seriously.
Yeah.
Why did it take so long? Was it COVID related? Were there hiccups? And did we, ESD, help them get over the finish line?
So they in a very timely way completed the project. I believe it was done 2016, 2017, the physical project. They dipped below the job numbers. They had trouble filling the jobs. COVID hit, they dipped even more. But they were really trying to fill the jobs. They had a lot of job openings and they finally filled them. So we did keep them on and waited for them to meet that job and exceed that job commitment.
Oh, terrific. Glad to hear it. Any other questions for Michael? No questions from the public. I will move it. Lorraine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Michael, continue.
So today, I'll be requesting the directors approve a $400,000 Round 11 Regional Council capital grant to TCI of New York, LLC, for a portion of the cost. We got a lot of tanks today. For a portion of the costs associated with the installation of 3 30,000-gallon and 9 20,000-gallon oil storage tanks with full containment related to oil processing facilities, an expanded garage and loading docks, and a lab for testing and quality control. This project was a Capital Region REDC priority project with a total project cost of just under $2.85 million. TCI of New York LLC was incorporated in June 2006. The company is a member of the GNS group of companies who, for more than 60 years, has acted as a partner for utilities, businesses, and industries to safely remove and recycle obsolete transformers and other oil-filled electronic equipment, that rebuild those units that can still be productive. Customers include some of the largest utilities in the world, as well as private businesses and homeowners. More than 99% of the materials processed are recycled, refurbished, or put back into service for beneficial reuse. This project is completed, and the company has been able to retain the 42 full-time equivalents and added another 5 full-time equivalents. And again, this aligns with the CRDC strategies of innovate and grow.
Got it. Any questions for Michael? We have no comments from the public. I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Michael. Nice to see you in person.
Thank us. Thank
All right. Linda Malabig, our Mid-Hudson region. And where's Linda? I saw her before. Yes. Twice in 2 months.
It's becoming a habit.
Our lucky day. You're welcome in person every month. So, but Linda has 4 items for us, 4 separate votes. We'll take them one at a time. So, Linda, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The directors are being requested to approve a regional council capital grant of $2,250,000 from Round 8 to Caribbean Food Delights, Inc., located in the hamlet of Papin, town of Orangetown in Rockland County. Caribbean Food Delights is one of the largest Caribbean frozen food manufacturers of Jamaican-style patties. The company, which began its operations in 1978 on Dyer Avenue in the Bronx, was awarded funding for a 30,000 square foot expansion, including adding second floors to its current facility and for the purchase and installation of machinery and equipment to upgrade their production lines. The additional production lines required the hiring of 45 additional full-time permanent employees and the retention of 130 existing employees. This project aligns with the MHRADC's work strategy, a sector-based strategy in which manufacturing is a priority, as well as the MHRADC's Regional Economic Cluster Plan, which seeks to enhance the food and beverage manufacturing supply chain in the region. Happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions? We have no comments from the public. I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Continue.
The directors are being asked to approve a $500,000 regional council capital grant from Round 11 for Lychee Brewery's project in the city of Middletown in Orange County. Lychee Brewery, DBA Aspire Brewery, was founded by Sunny and Parth Patel, is a new 30,000 square foot microbrewery and hospitality destination just outside of downtown Middletown. Experienced in the world of beer, Sunny Patel founded Beer World, a chain of successful stores that sell a variety of local and global beer brands. Now in partnership with his son Parth, Sunny has built and operates his own craft brewery. This brewery offers 40 craft taps, a full-service kitchen, and an array of fun family activities, including axe throwing, virtual golf, and a variety of lawn games available to guests. The facility features weekly local and regional musicians, free for guests to enjoy. The brewery itself is able to produce 35 different beers for a total of around 40,000 barrels a year. And the brewery has already become a major community hub and an anchor in Middletown, hosting between 350 to 400 visitors every week. Having invested $15,337,456 into this project, Sunny and Parth Patel were able to finalize construction, hire a total of 30 FTEs. This was achieved by creating 20 new FTEs equivalents and retaining 10. This project aligns with the MHRADC's work strategy, a sector-based strategy in which manufacturing is a priority, the MHRADC's Regional Economic Cluster Plan, which seeks to enhance the food and beverage manufacturing supply chain in the region, as well as the MHRADC's play strategy by creating new lively center for local residents and tourists to congregate for good local beer, local music, and fun. Happy to take any questions.
Well, and thanks for not letting us down. We get almost every month we approving a brewery, hard cider, vineyard. I know where ESD's heart is, but we all know these are terrific tourism facilities, local jobs, great taste, great fun. So thank you for that. I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. And there were no comments from the public on that one either. Linda, continue.
Thank you. The directors are being asked to approve $1,500,000 in regional council capital grant from Round 7 for Dutchess County's project in the town of Wappingers Falls. The Dutchess County Stadium, built in 1994, now called the Heritage Financial Park, is home to the Hudson Valley Renegades, a minor league baseball affiliate of the New York Yankees, and has been in desperate need of repairs for decades.
Dutchess County has invested $29,404,000 into this project and completely revitalized the stadium, bringing it up to modern standards. Repairs and improvements have been made across the park, including seating upgrades, parking improvements, suite improvements, structural repairs, and upgrades to LED lighting for better energy efficiency. Additional amenities were added to the park to enhance the experience of players, guests, and fans. A new 13,000 square foot clubhouse, which the players use, outfitted with laundry, medical room, weight room, and more, makes the stadium an appealing home for the Renegades. 544 new stadium seats and dining areas allow for more fans to experience the stadium. And this project aligns with the MHRADC's LIVE strategy by providing a continued home to a beloved local baseball team and providing a space for community events like graduations and concerts. Project also aligns with MHRADC's play strategy by allowing the center to continue to draw minor league baseball enthusiasts and concert goers from across the region. Happy to take any questions.
And how much is the award?
It was $1,500,000.
You know, you said this was for the Mets, we might be willing to approve a little bit more. But
it's pretty good there.
Because of the great asset to the community, and even though it's Yankee, I'm teasing. But I will move it. John seconds it. We have no comments from the public. Do any board members have any questions?
It's the total cost.
Total cost?
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Total project
Was it 20
is, it was about 13 million.
Thank
I'm sorry. I missed 29,404. 29,404 was the total project cost.
Any other questions? All right, there's a motion, there's a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Last item, Linda?
Sure. Today, the directors are being asked to approve a Regional Council Capital Fund grant of $824,941 to North Street Brickworks, LLC for a portion of the cost for property redevelopment, purchase and installation of machinery and furniture, fixtures, and equipment. North Street Brickworks is a real estate development company that invested $8,953,496 to the adaptive reuse and transformation of a former brick manufacturing site into a hospitality and event center destination located in the waterfront district, the city of Kingston in Ulster County. This capital investment supports Phase 2 of a multi-phase project, building on extensive infrastructure and site work completed in Phase 1. Phase 2 allowed the company to equip the site with 40 boutique cabins, including staff, office spaces, and backup house storage, an amphitheater, public courtyard, and pavilion event spaces, hiking trails, and spa treatment rooms, resulting in the retention of 2 full-time permanent jobs created in Phase 1 and the creation of 13 full-time permanent jobs in Phase 2. North Street Brickworks attracts thousands of visitors, including residents, to attend weddings, performances, and an outdoor upscale arts and crafts market place. The project has been a catalyst for downtown revitalization, spurring economic investment in the downtown waterfront area, and has strong support from the City of Kingston. The project strongly aligns with the City of Kingston's efforts to generate more economic development activity in the waterfront area, which is a highly distressed area. This project was identified as a priority project by the MHRDC and aligns with our live and play strategies. Happy to take any question.
Any questions for Linda? There are none, no comments from the public. So I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. All right, Linda, thank you. We're going to move over to some Restore New York Community Capital Grant projects, and Simone Bethune, our Senior Project Manager and Coordinator of Projects for Loan and Grants, is here.
Good morning to everyone. For the first item, we're seeking director's approval for a round 6 $500,000 grant to the town of Saugerties and the Mid-Hudson region. The project involves rehabilitation of a 115,000 square foot vacant warehouse into a state-of-the-art toy manufacturing fulfillment center for AudioEc Inc., a family-owned warehouse and fulfillment center located in Monroe, New York. Because the building is located in a visible corridor in the town, Socrates wanted to improve its appearance to make the area attractive to potential investors while also increasing jobs. The project was complete in June 2024 at a cost of $1.5 million, with the building owner contributing 68% in equity. Completion of the fulfillment center will allow AudioEc to hire 25 new employees over the next year. Because the project is complete, ESD is recommending the board authorize the release of funds for this project. Moving on to the second item, we're seeking director approval for a round 6, $4 million grant to the city of Utica in the Mohawk Valley region. This same project was introduced by Allison Madmoon earlier in the meeting for the Regional Council Capital Award of $1 million to the developer LaHinch Utica 38 LLC for a portion of renovation work to be performed on the Mayrow building, which was located at 239 Genesee Street. The Restore grant is being made to the city of Utica for the same rehabilitation project on the building and will cover renovations, including creation of 51 market rate apartments, retail and office space totaling 77,000 square feet. This project is expected to be complete in November 2024 at a cost of approximately $22.2 million, with an equity contribution of $1.1 million in cash from the developer. Because the project is near completion, ESD is recommending the board authorize release of funds. For the third item, we are seeking director's approval for a round 7, $1.3 million grant to the town of Clarkstown in the Mid-Hudson region. Clarkstown will use Restore New York funding to demolish the 44,805 square foot vacant Grace Baptist Church, a 150-year-old structure that had fallen into vacancy due to a shrinking congregation. In addition to the demolition of the building, Restore New York funds will reimburse asbestos abatement for eventual redevelopment of the site. In 2019, the town of Clarkstown adopted its transit-oriented development zoning plan. The plan was designed to create new zoning to better reflect and reinforce the traditional Main Street layout of the area and provide opportunities for mixed-use development and a variety of housing options for residents seeking to live near and utilize the commuter rail running to Bergen County in New York City. Restore New York funding allowed the town to reduce costs associated with preparing the property for development that will allow it to move forward with making the parcel ready for workforce housing. The project is scheduled to be complete this month at a cost of approximately $1.6 million, with the town contributing $317,000 in equity. Because the project is complete, ESD is recommending the board authorize release of funds for this project. And finally, directors are being asked to approve a $1,150,000 Round 7 Restore New York grant to the town of Liberty in the Mid-Hudson region for renovation of the abandoned 45,000 square foot building known as the Green Building into a mixed-use space that will include 40 new affordable housing units, along with commercial space on a diverse floor to help fill the housing gap in Liberty and provide working families the ability to live and work directly downtown. Total project costs are estimated to be $4.5 million, with an equity contribution of $480,000 from the developer. Project completion is slated for August 2025. Because the funding is being provided during the course of construction, ESD is recommending the board authorize release of funds for the project. And I can take any questions.
Thank you, Simone. Simone, on the Clarkstown project, a 150-year-old church, is the entire church being demolished, or is any parts of it a historic structure that's going to be able to be preserved and become part of the new mixed-use project?
No, the entire building will be demolished.
Demolished?
Yeah, it was, I think, the asbestos abatement.
It wasn't salvageable.
Yeah, it wasn't salvageable.
Got it. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Anybody have any questions for Simone on any of these 4 Restore New York grants? We have not received any comments from the public either. So I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thanks, Simone. Move over to the Office of Strategic Workforce Development. Christina Lopez, Deputy Director for Workforce Development, who I think I met earlier this morning. No. Yep.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, Director. The directors are being requested to approve the release of funding for the Office of Strategic Workforce Development Pay for Performance Program Operating Grant to Buffalo Arts and Technology Center, Inc., BSAT, in the amount of $750,000. BCAT applied for a Pay for Performance Operating Grant through the Office of Strategic Workforce Development Grant Funding Program, and based on recommendations of the Office and the ESD Commissioner, an incentive proposal was signed agreeing to provide $750,000 in funding for the project. BCAT's Building the Tech Workforce Ecosystem is a 2-year program that will provide workforce training opportunities for careers in high-priority technology fields throughout Western New York. The program will work to meet the needs of current and emerging industries seeking employees with intermediary technology skills. BCAT will recruit 120 trainees from underserved populations to participate in 4 separate courses: IT Fundamentals Plus, IT Technical Support, IT Networking Pro. One moment, I just lost my note. Network Pro and IT Security. 100 trainees will enroll into IT Fundamentals with intention of pursuing additional courses in IT Technical Support Technician, IT Networking Pro, and or IT Security. The BCAT will work with community partners to support employer recruitment for the training program, connecting their technical trainees to employers willing to provide internships and employ those qualified workers to build diverse and skilled workforces. BCAT will provide this training cost-free to participants and will work with partners and employers to establish consistent pipelines to jobs for successful trainees. BCAT offers wraparound services to all students enrolled, and students have access to free tutoring, meals, mental health care, and career counseling services on site. The adult workforce team is trained in trauma-informed practices and cultural competencies, and BCAT recognizes that the WRAP services they offer in-house may not meet all needs for participants, and they will leverage partnerships with multiple agencies and communities to provide additional support, such as financial assistance for childcare, housing, transportation, and emergency support during crisis situations. We are recommending that the board authorize the release of funds for BCAT Buffalo Arts and Technology Center, Inc. to carry out this project. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Christina. Anybody have any questions? Do you have no challenge from the public? So I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thanks, Christina. Let's move on to New York Ventures. Ryoko Nozawa, our Senior Director of New York Ventures. And this is the item that Benson will be recusing himself on. Ryoko?
Good morning, Directors. We are requesting that the Directors authorize an investment commitment from the State Small Business Credit Initiative, SSBCI, Emerging and Regional Partner Program Fund. This is a $102 million program using federal SSBCI funding to provide equity investments for venture capital fund managers to invest in high-growth New York State companies. We invest in venture capital funds led by emerging managers or those focused on underserved regions of the state. Subsequently, the fund managers invest our capital into multiple startups alongside private funds, with at least one private dollar for every SSBCI dollar invested into a single company. New York Venture staff conduct the evaluation of each application, and the applications will be reviewed until the funds are exhausted. This program was authorized by the Directors in 2022. The Directors approved investment commitments to 9 fund managers at the previous ESD board meeting. And today we propose investing in MBX Capital for up to $8 million. MBX is a venture capital firm in New York City that invests in healthcare infrastructure and life science startups, including those addressing environmental pollutants that impact people's health. Through its investments, MBX aims to improve public health, including a focus on underserved communities. NYS is led by 2 diverse fund managers, and the fund managers are raising and investing out of their third fund. New York Ventures conducted due diligence on NBX Capital, and we concluded that investing in this fund will help support the innovation ecosystem in New York State. the New York Ventures team recommends that directors authorize this investment. And I'm happy to take any questions that you may have.
All right, Ryoko, I have a question, just maybe a clarification, because I get confused sometimes with the various investments that we make. So this is a federal program. They allocate money to the state, and ESD is now going to invest these federal dollars into this investment firm, MBX Capital. And then MBX Capital will invest in startup companies in the healthcare infrastructure realm. Do we have that right?
Yeah, that's exact. Yeah, that's right.
And so sometimes when we invest, the state retains a piece of something and we could participate in the upside. So are we getting a piece of the MBX Capital Fund? And if they score a lot of points, we'll get a piece of that? Or will the state get any piece of the startup companies that MBX will be invested in?
Yes, ESD will be limited partners, which is investor in MBX Capital. So yes, we will receive the upside return when MBX is scoring good return. So yes, that's correct.
Got it. Good. All right. And MBX approves which companies to invest in. ESD does not.
Correct. MBX is directing investment. However, we have restrictions from SSBTI, which is coming from U.S. Treasury, and also there are state regulations. So we will review that before they make investment, but they will make the investment decision. That is business decision.
Good. All right. No, thanks for the clarification. So, board members, it was just, parts here. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page and understanding exactly what you're approving here. So does anybody else have any other questions? All right. Hearing none, I'll move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. And by the way, we had no comments from the public on that either. Thank you, Ryoko. Oh, and
thank you so much.
Motion, we let the record reflect that Benson had recused himself on it. All right. We're up to our last items, where we're going to have Doug Janice. Is Doug with us or is he on phone? He's on phone too. And these are our administrative actions. Also, the floor is yours, Doug.
Thank you, Chairman Laws, and good morning, directors and staff. As a reminder, in order to help streamline our board meeting, we implemented an oral summary presentation process in connection with the administrative action section of your agenda. So you receive a full set of the written descriptive material for each of these items in your board material. But rather than having individual oral presentations on each one, I'm going to provide a brief summary of the item, and at the conclusion, we will then entertain any questions or comments the directors may have, and you can take one vote to approve all these items. The 7 administrative action items this morning for you are summarized as follows. Item 5A is relative to authorization to make statutory payment pursuant to the New York State Electric Generation Facility Cessation Mitigation Program. Board is being asked to make free payment pursuant to this program to the town of South in the amount of $482,761.80. The payment will offset a reduction in tax revenue to the town due to the closure of the Indian Point facility in April of 2021. Approval of this payment will bring total purchase from the funds to approximately $97.2 million of the $140 million authorized for the, leaving a program balance of approximately 30% of the authorized fund. Item 5B is relative to authorization to enter into a contract amendment for marketing and promotional services in the New York State Apple industry relating to the Apple marketing order. Staff is seeking approval to enter into a contract amendment, marketing and promotional services with the New York State Apple industry in connection with the Apple marketing order program and authorization to take related action. The original New York Apple Association contract with approximately $1.9 million will be increased by $500,000, and the increased funding will permit additional marketing endeavors to promote the New York State industry. This increase will bring the new contract amount, when the new total contract could amount not to exceed approximately $2.4 million. Item 5C is relative to the approval of contract extensions and additional funds, pre-qualified temporary legal staff. As the board is aware, a dedicated appeals unit was established in 2022 to expedite the resolution of appeals for denials for certification by the Division of Minority and Women's Well, this unit consists of both permanent and temporary, which have been instrumental in closing more than 950 appeals. The board previously released $2,750,000 in funding to expedite the resolution of pending appeals. It is now being asked to release an additional $150,000, bringing the total to $3,400,000, and to extend the contract for the temporary legal staffing individuals and firms through June 1st, 2020. Item 5D is relative to authorization transfer to a contract for consulting service to undertake a statewide study published in private museum. The Division of Tourism is requesting the directors authorize the corporation to enter into a contract with Wilkening Consulting LL for an amount not to exceed $1 million to perform a comprehensive statewide study of New York 1,500 Carter Museum as required and directed by Wilkening Consulting was selected via a competitive RFP process, and the study will seek to create a survey of public and private museums across the state using definitions of the New York State Board of Regents, examine the different public and private sources of support for the museums, and make recommendations regarding the adequacy of those funding for. Item 5E is relative to authorization to amend a contract with the Martin Group, Public Relations and Social Media. NYSAR is seeking to enter into a 2-year contract extension with the Martin Group for an amount not to exceed $90,000. This will allow them to continue to develop and execute an assertive public relations campaign to help identify, activate, and capitalize on statewide, regional, and trade media opportunities, highlighting stories from across NYSAR's statewide network of over 80 innovation assets. This campaign, combined with ongoing social media consultation, will amplify NYSAR's key messaging and create awareness of the NYSAR network capabilities and impact with key strategic innovation areas for New York City. Item 5F is relative to authorization to enter into 3 contracts for the New York State MWBE Business Growth Accelerator Program design and implementation. The directors are being asked to authorize the corporation to enter into 3 contracts with consultants to launch the 3rd edition of the New York State MWBE Business Growth Accelerator, focusing on growth-oriented MWBE in the construction services, construction consulting, and semiconductor fabrication and construction trade. This program is a cornerstone of the division's commitment to drive economic growth, create jobs, and enhance MWBE participation in high-growth industries in New York State. These consultants will provide intensive training, mentoring, one-on-one coaching, and technical assistance for a minimum of 200 New York State certified minority and women-owned business enterprises across 6 of New York's economic development regions. AL Consulting Group Inc. is being awarded New York City and Central New York region with a contract amount of $800,000. The Business Outreach Center Network is being awarded the Long Island and Mid-Hudson regions with a contract amount of $400,000. And the New York Tri-State Chapter National Association of Minority Contractors is being awarded the Western New York and Finger Lakes region with a contract amount of $400,000. So the additional note, staff is in the process of issuing a request for proposal to provide services to the Capital District and Mohawk Valley regions, and anticipates returning to the board for authorization to award a contract to the successful vendor upon select. And our final item, item 5E, is relative to authorization transfer to a contract with G7 Solutions for 24/7 critical infrastructure service. The IT department is requesting authorization to enter into a contract with G7 Solutions LLC, 24/7 critical infrastructure consulting service for on-premises and cloud end-user compute. Corporation has been working to upgrade computer infrastructure and better enhance the ability of the program staff to work remotely, and this contract will provide critical assistance with the going forward. The contract term will run from December 1st, 2024 to December 1st, 2027, in an amount not to exceed $1,120,000. I will now turn it back to our chair, who will call for any questions or comments you may have on any of these items before calling for a vote. We also have item-related staff on the line today as well. Take any questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Doug. Anybody have any questions for Doug on any of these administrative items we're being asked to approve?
Do we reach out to minority businesses to keep it funny?
To which ones? Hilda.
Only boss.
Doug, did you hear Hilda's question, Doug? What's the outreach to minority businesses to participate in the procurement of some of these services that we're being asked to approve today?
I did hear the question, Chairman. I'm going to turn it to Donnie Thorough or Jason Clark to provide you the detail on that stuff for their outreach.
Dawn is getting a six.
Sorry.
Hi there, Dawn Sanders, speak for MWBE. I can speak on item F. Item F is,
Thank you. For item F, that is all MWBEs, and we started our outreach last year. So all year long, we try to encourage folks to be excited and interested, and our clients, our incubators, they will be in contact with their clients throughout the year. So we can guarantee 100% MWBE participation for item F.
Okay, Hill. Good. Anybody else have any other question? We have no comments from the public on any of these items. So I will move them. Lorraine seconds them. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nothing. The motion carries. That concludes our official business of this board meeting. Does any board member have any other business they or issue or concern they'd like to raise at this time? None. I want to thank the entire team. Yeah, I often say it, and it's great to see so many of you in person. Since we live in this Zoom world and virtual world now, I'm always impressed by the professionalism, kindness, and your willingness to answer any of our questions. And so, I want to thank Hope, you and your team here. As I said, and great to see so many of you in person. Want to wish everybody a happy Halloween. And where's Linda Malabi again? Are we doing the what with the pumpkin kites or whatever we approved last time?
Jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, the jack-o'-lantern. Does that happen again in the Lower Hudson Valley or Mohawk Valley?
Yeah, sorry, it's in the Mid-Hudson region. It's in Westchester County, right?
Oh, we've had the nicest stretch of weather in the States a long time, and things like that. It's great to be in New York. So that's exciting. Our next meeting is going to be Thursday, November 21st. So the week before Thanksgiving. So we will see you then. I will move to adjourn. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. The meeting is adjourned. Again, thank you, staff and team, for all you do. Yes. Bye-bye.